Okay, so I can...
7 o'clock.
7:03.
7:03.
And the time is a ticking.
We have 47 hours.
And
actually,
7.
we have 48 hours and 48 hours and 30 minutes. So it doesn't have to be turned in until 7:30. You know what? Let's take the scenic route home.
Oh yeah, let's just pull.
We don't even have to worry about it.
Please, I beg you.
It's all
now, wait,
down.
where do I go? Am I supposed to be going right here? No.
Just go this way, go this way.
This is what we did last year. No!
We are now 5 minutes into the 48-hour film project, and we've already taken a wrong turn.
This year I stayed at Steven's house while Steven and TJ drove up to get the genre. We kind of sat around and waited for them to give us a call back. They called us and let us know that, as usual, Steven turned the wrong turn.
Jeff, before you talk, do you remember? Do you remember, Jeff? Do you remember the first year when I took that right and we had to go around that block and get back on again? Yeah. Done it again. My gas light just came on, just warning you.
You don't need to get gas.
The goal was to have a script done by 9 o'clock, and from the beginning I thought that was pretty ridiculous, and that wasn't going to happen. Oh yeah, well...
So I scheduled like 2 hours to write a script, or at least have an idea of a script.
I thought we were one of the faster teams to get scripts done, and usually had it done by midnight, and this time it dragged on and on and on.
But when we got sci-fi, we had no idea where to go with it. I was leaning way more towards doing like green screen.
You know, we had pretty good ideas to and fro of what we want to do with that, and there in the middle of it all, Steven's like, let's go like a B science fiction movie.
People are showing up now because it's way, way, way past the deadline. I think it was probably closer to midnight or so before we had an idea of our script.
We started writing on the script, and I think this last year we did a pretty decent job. It took us about the same amount of time to write the script as always, and got it kind of honed down, and we had to make some minor tweaks because we did not have enough actors that would be available for the entire length. But the nice thing was actually the tweaks that got done helped kind of hone the script down into a more perfected, more tight storyline that kind of got our point across. And because every year we seem to try to do something different, we decided to make a all-out 50s B movie in every way, every possible way. The way it was filmed, make it black and white, make it full screen, even do cheesy special effects.
Right there is good.
So here we are.
I've acted before, so they kind of just like, Miles, here's a hat and suit, go act. So that was pretty cool because got to do kind of like a stylized, old like 1950s B movie. Acting, as a detective, and so that was pretty fun.
But the nice thing was we filmed at the church again, which is now becoming our studio. It's actually very cool because that place basically has everything we want. We have a nice big area that was our sound stage, and it's got some nice offices and some hallways that for the last 2 years we've made it work.
There's definitely a lot of fun using just one single location, being able to have other things set up and just walk down a ramp or a hallway to get a good shot.
The other thing that was a little bit of drama was the costumes of the aliens. And my original idea was to go with a lot more serious aliens, a lot like the Twilight Zone, where they're not obvious aliens, but they're dressed the same, so you make the connection they're aliens.
Steven wanted to have kind of like a normal like suit and tie for the aliens, and this is kind of like the only discrepancy, and I think Jeff didn't really like it either. I'm like, okay, why are we doing this? And so I was the only one with the gonads to actually tell Steven, like, hey, we want, something a little different for the aliens, So
I finally said, let's just have a vote. What do you guys want to do? We all got together, we voted, and it turned out that more people wanted to go with more of the cheesy style aliens.
And so I was in charge of making the costumes at that point, and if they didn't work, we were going to do something else. And so I went to Ace Hardware. I just got some tubes, and I just put them around the shoulders and the back.
And plastic PVC pipe or tubes for the sleeve things. Worked out great. I loved it.
About what we can do to make it better. I'm not trying to be a nuisance. I just think we can do better than this. That was simply my 2 cents. You can't.
This is Naomi's first film set.
I'm not trying to be a nuisance. I just think we can do better than this. That was simply my
That
2 cents.
is a wrap.
We are done with the 48-hour film shoot.
Yes.
Now it's time for the 48-hour film editing.
The editing, as we did last year, Cameron was the main editor. She did all the editing. She had the laptop at the church with an external drive. We'd shoot a whole scene or a whole set of scenes, a whole bunch of angles. Give her that tape, we'd grab another tape, she'd start digitizing it, and she'd be looking for missing scenes or missing angles. She'd lean in and say, hey guys, I need this angle, and if it was something on our shot list, I'd say, okay, we're getting that, or it would be something like, oh, I forgot about that, or there was something that was wrong with that take, so we could get that real quick. So that helped a lot.
I was in charge of making any kind of titles, the credits, the opening credits, the titles, and just gonna have a placeholder. And the first thing that came to my mind was unknown. The title is unknown at this point, and popped in my head Spectre. And everybody liked it, so we just kept it. Luckily enough, I'm a little bit creative, or else the movie would have been called Placeholder.
We are still editing. We've got.
Sleep. A lot of us had very little sleep, but I wasn't thinking clear at all. Every single one of these festivals, by the second or third day, I'm starting to get delusional, and I lose my words and I get really confused. But I was really, really hungry. So I go in there, and all these hamburgers are frozen solid, completely frozen. So I grab a fork first, and I try prying them apart with a fork. And I knew that obviously wasn't the tool to be using to break the hamburgers apart. So I grabbed a very large, sharp knife and decided that's probably the best way to do it. And if you go this way, you don't get much force. So I decided, with very little sleep, the most obvious way to break the hamburgers apart would be to place one hand here for the knife here, so that you're using your force to break them apart. It's 1:30. I'm heading to the emergency room to get stitches in my hand. I started pushing, and immediately it goes through. I busted the hamburger apart right away.
He was pretty excited about it. He wanted to film every second of it, so the camera went to the hospital.
Immediately, I knew that was a stupid thing.
As soon as he opened up his hand, he had a camera there to film what was going on.
It's actually soft living, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Although it's a big flap.
You need to go.
Okay.
This year, the best part was the 1 o'clock wake-up call from Jeff on Sunday afternoon, saying, "Hey, we need you at the house right away." And I thought it was only like 10 o'clock, and then I was like, "Why? What's up?" He's like, "Steven's at the hospital," which really didn't come as a big shock to me at all.
The doctor comes in, the guy who does the stitches on me. He said, "What happened?" I was explained that I was cutting hamburger buns apart, or hamburger. Wasn't cutting the hamburger buns apart. That would have been even crazier. I was cutting the hamburgers apart with this large knife, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we get a lot." I mean, he admitted that there were a lot of people who come in who do that exact same thing. So I wasn't the only person who does that. But anyways, I explained that I cut myself breaking the hamburgers apart, and he goes, "Oh yeah," and while you're doing that, you know this is not a good idea. And I explained to him, "Oh no. I was so tired. I didn't even think for a second it wasn't a good idea until I had already done it." So then he continues and he says, "Okay, now when was your last tetanus shot?" And I say, 5 or 6 days ago. And he stops and he looks up at me. He's like, "What from?" And I said, well, I just stabbed my hand with a rusty screwdriver. And he looked at me and I said, and that time I thought to myself, this is not a good idea, but I'm going to try it anyways.
So how did it feel going to the emergency room for the first time in your life?
It took a long time, and especially when I'm in a hurry. But they were nice. I would recommend Mercy.
Anyways, I'm at the hospital or getting the stitches, and I'm really getting nervous because the team, I knew they could do it. I was nervous not being there. By the time I got home, they already had the rough or the good cut done, ready to take that to Madison. So that way, when I got there, we were able to do one last final cut.
It's almost 6 o'clock, and we're gonna send off an edit. I was gonna say, who wants to go up there?
Steven just called and told us that they are burning a disc now. They will meet us there. Dun dun dun. I mean, that's a good thing. And it's
and then our cut was, we did a little bit better sound edit, added some background, room tone, that kind of stuff, just to clean it up a little bit, and that was just our fine cut that would be great to get it turned in, but the other one was acceptable.
Alright, so it says that we will be there at 6:22. Sorry, 7:22. The film is due at 7:30.
The first one we turned in, and when we got there with the final DVD, we took that one back and gave the new one because we still got there probably in like 15 minutes early. So that was pretty exciting, pretty awesome.
Now we made it.
We made it!
Right.
I am sweating like a pig.
I could bug Steven the whole, actually, both of you.
Did you see that? It's nasty.